In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, it's Charlie, Negative Modifier's Game Master. First off, thank you for giving us a listen. As always, expect something horrible to happen to the players. If you're a fan, support us by leaving a review on iTunes. If you hate the show, consider doing it anyway and enjoying the fact that you've inflicted us on someone else. For the most up-to-date news in the podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And with that... Alright, you gotta text Jim and reschedule?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, that goes well. Uncomfortable number of emojis come back from Jim as responses, but the message goes through.
There's like woods around here, yeah, like hiking spots.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him, like, we'll just go hiking when he gets.
Okay.
My man didn't look like he was a hiker, but
I mean,
He's a little confused by that. He's kind of more interested in coffee, but
Ooh, a night hike.
I'm just saying that, like, getting him out into the wilderness, like, pretty primo for us.
he's more interested in coffee first. But if things go like he's going to get a little bit of coffee, he's like, yeah, we'll meet for coffee and then we'll go somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Just text the thumbs up.
Yep. Again, few too many emojis come back for that response.
I just pull out my flask and I just hand it to Florence.
Yeah, she's also texting him on a new burner phone she bought while at the shopping mall.
All right.
She also takes a very long swig from this flask.
Sure.
What am I supposed to do? I've dated one person my whole life.
Well, you're not really dating him. You're just setting him up for a possible rough interrogation, slight kidnapping, and then see where this goes.
Okay.
What you're doing is espionage, not dating. You know how to do espionage, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So if we do, we should probably go set up like a clean site somewhere we can dump him if we do have to bag him.
all right, sounds good. So while I'm driving, so I can't look anything up at the moment. So I'm gonna kind of gesture to Firestarter to look for stuff or look for a location.
Yeah, I'm going to check out some kind of easy hiking spots or some place that has a nice little tail bend. I will also try to see if I can find a large multiple gallon barrel, like a plastic barrel,
All right.
just in case if we have to hide a body or dissolve a body or do whatever with a body.
And we've gotten dark real fucking fast.
I was gonna say the escalation for this is like you're just gonna obviously murder him tonight, right?
Obviously murdering. And that's, like I said, this is not my plan A.
We're gonna ask him some questions tonight. His answers are what decide his fate.
What we are going to murder, though, is a small business.
Yes.
A small business with a secret.
All right. So should we flash forward to the date?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So we pick up at the Starbucks. Do you try and get there before Jim, or do you get there after the time so you can kind of walk in and greet him or something like that?
I mean, it's probably best that Foxtrot and Firestarter get in there first, and then Florence will show up after he arrives.
Sure. Works for me.
I'm absolutely doing the whole king over my newspaper thing.
Real question is, where'd you find a newspaper in this day and age? But yeah, maybe a book or something instead.
It's a Starbucks. They have newspapers.
Do they?
Yeah.
Starbucks they do have newspapers. That's true.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's been a long time since I've been in one. So you grab one of the newspapers, it's local Savannah newspaper. Do you try and engineer the space? You have like an obvious, like, we're going to guide people to this table type of situation and kind of make sure people don't sit down there. You're just going for general kind of surveillance setup.
Probably best that we're controlling the situation. But that's a question for Foxtrot, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll say probably Foxtrot has enough experience with this. He can probably kind of engineer the situation relatively effectively.
Okay, so we're at a Starbucks. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Damn it! I wish you weren't at a Starbucks or maybe at a small shop because they'd have less cameras too.
I mean, we can always like suggest a different shop.
Is there any place nearby that is like a coffee shop that would be open? What time is the date technically going to be? Because it's when he gets off work, so I'm going to assume it's
around
later in the
5 o'clock.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Around 5:00. Okay. Is there an area nearby that would perhaps be a little bit more local and not so busy? Because Starbucks would have a lot of foot traffic.
If you do a little bit of research around, like there is kind of across the major highway, there's a small park here with a lake inside that across from the shop. little kind of like pond area. It's a fountain in it and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, we could just say, let's just get coffee and meet up at this park. Yeah.
That works. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It'd be better not to be in an area that has so much foot traffic, A, and B, kind of popular as a Starbucks. So then at this point, the place you mentioned, the little park with a fountain across the street from the shop, you said.
Yeah.
Is it covered with a lot of trees? Is it like pretty like
It's
shady?
pretty open. It's a park. Like
Pretty
it's a
open?
small kind of suburban park. There's a fountain and kind of side of a small little pond type of thing. There's some ducks in it. You could take 5 minutes and walk around the pond super easily. It's just a little detour. I guess like we should have talked about, Savannah has a bunch of fountains and stuff like that all over the place.
Okay.
Before, because we have hours, can I just find a stone and like make the elder sign before this meeting near a lake?
Sure.
Cool.
So let's see.
I would like to also divide my bag of herbs and distribute it amongst my team. Just kind of do a quick wrap with
Sure.
some twine I have.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I will say, Florence, it does cost you 2 willpower to do the rock thing. I'm assuming you're kind of imbuing it with some power, right?
Yeah. Like in the back of the car with like a knife carving into it.
Yep. Makes sense.
Let's see what else. So I know the park you said is pretty much open.
Yeah.
Does it feed off into any foresty area at the end, or is it just like a?
It's just a beautification thing. So put like, oh, this is kind of ugly strip. Let's put this across from it, and it makes the area look nice. Like maybe at one point it's just a vacant lot, and they built this to make it nicer, or there's some historical thing to it that no one has a plaque for. Like this is a thing that happens in more kind of rural cities. They just have parks.
Okay. But the setting is a little more like, I guess, city urban-ish.
Yeah, it's Savannah. It's one of the more rural places you've been so far in these operations. Not New York, but like it's definitely more rural than Vermont was. Probably not quite Chicago. Probably on par with the suburb you were in, maybe a little bit less actually. But yeah,
That's true. Okay. All right. How many benches are nearby? I guess we're planning on setting up Florence and her date.
yeah, it's like a bench every 20 feet around the pond, if you will. So there's like 10, 15 benches total tops. Not a ton, but like it's benches.
Okay. I am going to grab, I'm going to grab a little like microphone bug and put it on the bench where Florence will be, just so I can listen into the conversation.
Sure.
So I will set that up. I'm also going to set up relatively far away just because I was in the shop earlier with Florence, so I'm sure he'll recognize me, but Firestarter wouldn't be as recognizable because he was in the back, so I'll suggest he could be closer as far as the layout goes, but I'll kind of provide support from further away. So I guess in this park, just to state the obvious, any cameras in the park?
No, just a park.
Okay, cool. And since it's about to be around 5 o'clock, still sunlight, or are we starting to get sunset action?
And this is late October, but you're far enough south, it's still pretty sunny at this point. Probably sundown's closer to 6, 7 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I guess I kind of just have gone over my layout. I've got close enough sight that I can see them. I think I'm pretty much set to kind of just observe at this point.
All right. On a special prep on your end, Firestarter, or just kind of finding a bench to loiter on?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to find a bench to loiter on.
All right. So do you meet Jim at Copies and More? Do you meet him at the coffee shop? Where do you meet him, Lawrence?
I'm going to meet him at the park.
All right. You ask him to bring you coffee, or you bring your own coffee?
We'll bring her up.
All right. Yeah, so he kind of shows up 5:15-ish, if you will. I've had to go through Starbucks and stuff, kind of shows up like he's kind of awkwardly holding a cup. He's looking at you. Sorry I'm late. There was a line at Starbucks. You know how those places are. Never actually been to this park before. I work across the street from it, but I never actually noticed it was even here.
Oh, yeah? I'm kind of new to town, so I don't know a whole lot.
Oh, really? Well, welcome to Savannah, then. It's a beautiful city. You seen any of the famous oak trees yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm out here sort of on a bit of a professional gig, I guess.
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I study like cults and their behaviors.
Oh, cool. Are you here because Savannah's the most haunted city in the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but I'm also going to be doing a deep study and
kind of shrugs at this. I don't know much about cults. They're just kind of weird religious types. My mom raised me as a My mom raised me good Christian values, so no interest in that stuff. People are weird here, though, especially outside the city.
Can I see if he's like putting off any signals, like, he's lying? Because I mean, we know we found that the newspaper clippings about the cults in his room.
Yeah, I would say that maybe he's either grown out of that or he lying. Yeah, that's a pretty good read on the situation. Give me a human int.
Oh, 2 out of 33 is success.
This guy's just kind of awkward and fumbly, but you did kind of, when you mention local cults thing, there was kind of a split-second hesitation of some kind.
Yeah, not a lot of people are into that kind of stuff. I wish people were. I mean, it would be a lot easier to date, I think, if I found somebody who was interested in the same type of things as I was.
He kind of shrugs at this. He's like, well, I'm always interested in learning new things, I guess. I don't know, not a lot of interesting stuff happens here in that. We're all about kind of mass grave this, haunted that. By the way, my coworker mentioned I probably shouldn't have mentioned my mom. It's still so recent, I'm not quite sure how to bring up the fact I got brought into questioning today with the police. They wanted to ask me more questions about it. It was super weird what happened.
Is he talking like he's upset about this?
No, he's just kind of running at the mouth, I guess is the way of saying it. Like, it's definitely a 4 scoops awkward, 1 scoop. How high is your psychiatry?
Base 10%.
Let's roll it. I'll even give you a plus 20 on it.
80 fail.
You would know that people kind of, what's the right phrase? A lot of people think being associated, having a connection to murders makes you interesting. Like, it's why the true crime fandoms exist in some ways. Like, it's people that are into kind of famous serial killers and stuff like that. Like, it's not a bad thing from a historical standpoint, but like in those circles, there are people that like work really hard to kind of attach themselves to that. Like, and this is maybe just a weird thing I've happened in my life some, but like I have known people that like will say, like, oh, I'm from the town Ted Bundy was from or something like that. Like, it's the thing that makes them interesting. There's kind of like, it's a personal detail, I guess. Your read on this situation probably comes off as like this is him thinking that like his mom being a murder victim makes him interesting and different from other guys and like therefore more dateable, I guess. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, she's gonna play into it and like just like ask him like, talk to him about it and act super interested and just try to get him talking about I mean his mother.
He talks about it as best he can. Like, he's like, yeah, I guess she was like strangled or something like that. Like, he goes through kind of the basic stuff that he might know about the case from being questioned and stuff like that. Nothing super deep. He was like, yeah, I got super lucky. I actually moved out of the house about a month and a half before it happened. It was finally time to get my own place. You know how it is. Strike on your own. Like, a man needs his own castle.
Yeah. And was this one of the, stick murders?
Like, guy looks at you. You did your research well. Yeah, I guess she was one of the stick murders. They asked me to talk about that at the police station. They're trying to keep, like, it's on the news, so it's out there, but they're trying to not, like, they say it might draw undue attention to me or something. I don't get that. Like, it's so some weirdos running around killing people and leaving sticks. Like, it sucks it was my mom, but I don't know.
You and your mom not have a good relation?
Kind of pauses again for a second. We were fine. She was a little controlling. I'm sad she's gone, but like, I don't mean to sound crass or like inside. I've been questioned about this so many times. It's maybe a little, I don't know, matter of fact for me at this point. But like, she was a controlling and a bit of a mean woman. Sometimes wasn't a fan of like my interests. Didn't like. She encouraged me to pursue certain stuff, but like looked down on me for working at the copy place here. I only work at Copies and More because it gives me the time to pursue what I actually want to do, which is photography.
Oh, yeah? You ever photograph anything interesting?
Nah, not really. Some stuff out in the woods once or twice, some deer. I got to work professionally for a couple like local town things. That was fun. I got to take a picture of the mayor once at one of the parades. That's all for a little bit of money, but yeah, no. Mostly it's mostly being at the coffee shop gives me a big discount on like materials I need for that. So it's part of why I put up with it. You know how printer paper is, and so of course you did. You were trying to buy the expensive high quality paper earlier.
Yeah. I hear that in the woods around here, there's kind of this one special tree. Some people know where it is. They say it's kind of like a local secret.
Give me an alertness at this one.
25 out of 57 success.
You definitely noticed a reaction to that. Not a long pause, but like There's a definite pause, and the pause feels weird. A special tree? There's lots of special trees around here. It's Savannah. We're all about them oaks, and I'm leaning over the road and stuff like that. What about this special tree?
Well, I mean, I had heard that it was related to maybe not old stuff, but the story says that a bunch of the African Americans were locked in a church and burned it down, and from it, the tree sprouted.
I wouldn't know anything about that. History was never my strong suit. Sorry I can't help you out with that. I've never heard of that one before. Give me a human int.
96 fail.
Yeah, he's kind of, what's the right phrase? He's back to kind of talking a little too fast again, but like he's uncomfortable. You're also talking about a great human tragedy that happened. Like it would make anyone comfortable kind of thing to bring up during a date. This is the guy that like talked about his mom being murdered a little too casually, but even this, like, it's upsetting.
Sorry, I kind of get too into my hobbies sometimes.
No, I get it. Yeah, everyone needs a hobby, and kind of hobbies are important. Give me human int again.
73 fail.
There's something weird going on. We kind of looks at you and kind of like looks at his watch real quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about something. I forgot I have something. That's why I wanted to kind of meet up earlier, like with lunch was better and stuff like that. But I can call you again. We could do this again sometime if you want. I have to do something tonight, unfortunately. I actually get to go to take some photos or something.
Oh, what are you going to take photos of?
Just a small party of some kind.
Can I come?
Sorry, it's a cotillion. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
I am not familiar, but Florence probably.
Yeah, cotillions are kind of like society coming out parties, for lack of a better phrase. Like it's, depending on your interpretation, they're kind of like an introduction of high-end people to society, or if you want to be real cynical, they're kind of meat markety. They're old and traditional in a bad way, if that makes any sense.
Does it seem like he's just trying to find an out here?
Give me a human int.
Oh, fumble.
Yeah, he seems to be sincere through this. He's a squirrely dude, so everything he does is kind of squirrely, but like it's could indeed have something to do tonight. He could have a thing he has to go do.
All right.
You got reason to doubt him, kind of thing. If he does indeed do photography on the side for his actual profession, or what he thinks is his actual profession, he in theory would have stuff lined up to do that.
I'm very confused with this man because I have caught him like clearly hiding stuff, but he also seems pretty sincere. So, yeah. What time of day is it?
You guys have been walking around some and talking. Didn't talk the entire time. It was like an hour has passed or so, give or take. Like it's getting close to 6. Again, this also kind of lines up with his idea he has to go do something. You're getting close to dinner hours and stuff like that. Like that would make sense. Like if it's indeed a dinner party as you understand it, you would be getting closer to that type of time. And
well, would you mind walking me to the parking lot?
I could definitely do that, milady.
Why don't we do one more loop around the lake, and then we'll head back, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, and she's gonna like pause at one moment and say, "Oh, hold on, my mom texted me." She's just gonna pause and kind of turn and check Firestarter or just the group chat we have going and say, "If you're gonna do anything, do it now." Maybe looking through his car and then put it away and go back to walk.
So what are you trying to do? I guess
buy time for if Firestarter or John want to do anything like looking through his car, plant something on his car. She's just gonna buy time.
Is his car located back at work since it was close to his job?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're both in the park, though, so you have to kind of like leave the park and go back there.
Yeah.
I guess she'll also pose the question, are we taking?
My plan and my thought was when you guys were going to do one more loop and pass me on the bench, I was just going to rush him.
Is there anyone else in the park right now?
No one immediately, but there are people like off in the distance or something like that. There's a road people keep driving by and occasionally every once in a while. It's not like an isolated location. There's no one immediately around, though. I will say that.
I mean,
how far am I from Jim and Florence?
Depending on location, you can be like probably like 100 feet or like 20 feet. You know how you want to play this, I guess.
Is by his stature and everything else like that. Florence's text was very vague. So how I would imagine Firestarter would kind of translate that and be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm tackling him. So he's going to get up and just kind of walk towards them, and when he's within just kind of sprinting distance, he's going to start sprinting and just tackle him to the ground.
I guess, is that what we want to do, or is that just what he's interpreting the situation as?
This is what Firestarter's interpreting the situation as?
Sure.
Because ideally, it's going to be a tackle and then alligator roll into a bush where no one else can see.
Sure.
Well, when Florence sees you approaching, she'll just like shake her head no and like motion back to the parking.
And then I nod yes, turn around, and I will start heading over to the parking lot. I'm going to give him a flat. Or I'm going to put like a nail in his tire, like depressurize his tire.
Give me a search, because you actually haven't identified which car is his just yet. I'll give you a plus 20 on it, but it's a limited options. Like you can probably figure it out relatively easily.
Gotcha. Search plus 20. This is an 80%. Like, let's go. 85. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
There's a couple kind of mediocre cars in the parking lot. You don't feel confident any one of them is the one you're looking for, though, but kind of, yeah. So kind of as you're looking around, trying to be inconspicuous, eventually Florence and Jim do kind of make their way back. He leads Florence to what he assumes is her car kind of thing. Says goodbye. He's like, I'm so sorry I have to leave, but I do have this work. I do have this work thing I have to get to, and kind of goes off. And
before he leaves, what kind of car do we have?
Never really established it. I think it was like just an SUV of some kind in my head. But yeah, it's like a nondescript SUV.
Oh, I was going to say something in the sense of if Firestarter was not able to identify Jim's car, he was just going to give every one of them except ours a flat.
You don't have time for that.
Damn it.
I like the idea that you don't have time to covertly
just
do
slashing all the tires.
Unless you want to be the raving lunatic that's slashing tires in a parking lot, you don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
I can absolutely do that, though.
You could, but also remember, there's a weird amount of security cameras.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are going to burn the building down at some point.
Yeah, we are parked out of the camera's views.
Yeah.
When we get back to the car, is Firestarter or John anywhere nearby?
I'm in the park. I didn't set up near the car.
You could probably follow them, I guess. There, you wanted to have safe distance.
Yeah, I'm keeping a reasonable distance away.
I can mug him.
I mean, I want to roll an awareness to see if Florence even notices John following them.
Let's do kind of a friendly opposed roll. So let's roll an alertness, and Foxtrot, let's see a stealth out of you for this.
Okay. There we go. 42 out of 50 success on my stealth.
Florence does notice you, but the good news also is that Jim does not.
Good.
Yeah, so you're following behind us. So, like, as we get to the parking lot, Florence kind of, like, adjusts her jacket and lifts it up and, like, shows the pistol in the back of her waistband and just sort of motions the car.
Towards to Jim?
I mean, she's planning on just telling him to get into the car. And then
okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to pretty much take the cue and approach a little bit faster.
Yeah, and then, like, when we get to the car, Florence opens the door and then like motions in for him to give her a hug.
He doesn't do that. He kind of like walks you to the car and kind of like, well, this is your ride. I'll call you sometime.
If he doesn't, she'll reach out to like shake his hand. He
kind of awkwardly shakes the hand very quickly though.
Yeah, as he like grabs her hand, she puts a good grip on it and she makes sure that there isn't like a car passing by right now or some guy walking by.
Not at this exact second, no.
Yeah, she pulls her gun and just kind of holds it to his stomach and says, "Get in the car."
Are you kind of holding on to him right now in any way?
Yep. She's holding his hand.
All right, so let's do an opposed strength check on this one.
Can I use unarmed?
Yeah, I'll let you use unarmed for that.
Well, fail.
I'm not sure to play this one, I guess, because you definitely don't manage to hold him, but he kind of like doesn't like fully break away, I guess. But so he starts screaming in the parking lot that something's up, I guess. Like he kind of like flubs away, but you're not kind of fully grabbing him anymore either. Yeah, what do you do?
Can I run over there with athletics?
Yeah.
Well, so how far am I, since I know I was following from behind, realistically, while this is happening, have I gotten close enough to interact yet, or am I still kind of far?
You'd have to run at this point.
Okay. So then, yeah, I'm going to run over there.
So he's kind of standing there, help, help, I'm being mugged or abducted, just kind of yelling at the top of his lungs.
The moment he starts like yelling, Florence is like trying to place her hand over his mouth.
Can I roll athletics to get over there quick?
Yeah.
53 out of 52. Wow! Fail.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
71 out of 60 failure on my end. So we're just getting there slow.
It's a big parking lot. Like it takes some time to get. So Florence, you're kind of struggling with Jim as he's starting to scream and stuff like that. Give me a luck roll.
34 success.
No one's noticed you yet.
Can she just knee him in the balls to shut him up?
Yeah. Give me unarmed combat.
10 out of 32, 62 success.
You hit him. He's still screaming, but kind of like it's different screaming now at this point. I might argue you're beginning to attract a scene of some kind, but no one's kind of shown up to help him just yet.
Can she try to just stuff him in the car with him in his vulnerable state now?
Yeah, give me a strength.
50 out of 50 success.
Wow.
On the dot.
Yes, you just kind of like, just ever so barely just kind of like put all your weight behind him. He's a small guy. He's not in great shape. He's kind of like just like falls into the backseat of the car or something like that, like half tackled, half fallen. And he's kind of like, he's in the car now, if you will. Like the door's open. He's still screaming. Give me a luck check.
67%.
Someone else in the parking lot has now noticed this all going on. They're making their way towards you slowly.
The door open, put the child lock on, close the door. Actually, she's going to get into the back. I'd imagine that one of the others is going to drive.
Sure.
Yeah, have I gotten over there already? I know, like, we did the athletics fail, but, like, while this is going on, have I gotten over there yet?
You're about to be there, I guess.
Okay.
How far am I from the person who's now approaching?
You could divert and go for them if you wanted to.
Yes. Are they like grabbing their phone or anything else like that?
Yeah, they're slowly going for their phone.
Cool. I'm going to head over there.
All right, so while this is all kind of happening, Florence, you notice that kind of inside the car, he's regained something. He's trying to make a grab for the other door. He's trying to get it open so he can like fall out of the car or something. He's trying to like dive through the dive, but kind of like crawl through, I guess is the way of thinking of it.
He's climbed in with him. She's just gonna grab the back of his collar, put the gun to the back of his head, and like cock it and say, "Shut the fuck up."
He just starts yelling his name at this. Yeah, he's just kind of yelling Jim Williams at the top of his lungs from inside the car.
All right, she's gonna put him in a chokehold.
All right, good armed combat.
82 fail.
He's kind of flailing around a bunch and don't quite make the connection with that.
All right, am I there yet?
Yeah, you're here by now.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in the front right now and just drive.
Give me a luck check.
30 out of 50 success.
You have the keys. All right, so you're kind of like, you're going to jump in the car at this point. You're going to start driving.
Yep, and I just kind of take off towards the flow of traffic where there is least amount of like traffic on the road at the moment.
Give me a drive check.
Oh, fuck. 42 out of 20 failure.
You don't quite make it. You're kind of a bunch of cars you got to get around. You don't have quite as straight a shot as you want. Like you're definitely kind of swerving in and out at this point to do this, and the driving is kind of making the inside of the car a little bit jostly.
Okay.
People are definitely noticing, though, at this point.
Okay. Since I'm in the front, I'm going to activate the childproof locks in the windows so they can't get rolled down and he can't open the door from the back.
Can you manually toggle the things in the back from that way?
Well, you can turn on the childproof locks in the front driver's seat in most cars, and it makes it so that the other ones can't open.
I thought you could do that with windows. I know you could do that with, I've never seen that with, like, the child locks for doors.
You can do that with child locks.
You can do it so that other seats can't unlock their own door, even including the passenger.
Huh, I've never actually seen that before. I believe it happens. You could do that next turn because you failed your drive roll, I guess is the takeaway on that.
I attempt to subdue this man again.
Yep, non-armed combat.
19 success.
Yeah, so you do manage to grab him at this point.
I'm just going to choke him.
Yep, you're choking him at this point. So what are you doing, Firestarter?
So as I'm running towards the dude, towards the person, I'm just kind of like, holy shit, did you see what was going on? Like, what's happening? And whatnot. And as I'm trying to feign that kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just a bystander, like watching that much like you, I'm going to attempt to grab their phone and break it, or like just kind of take their phone away from them.
All right, give me a luck roll.
Luck roll.
Let's go.
8 success.
Yeah, so you hear the phone ringing. It's not made a connection yet. So give me an unarmed combat to try and grab the phone.
85% failure on the unarmed combat.
Yeah, you don't quite grab it. The person's kind of managed to get it out of your way kind of thing. They're bobbing and weaving. Someone's get back to the car now. All right, so Foxtrot, you're going to lock the child lock thing you mentioned?
Yep.
All right, cool. You successfully do that. Let's maintain that hold, Florence. Give me a strength.
Can it be unarmed? Because we're already in a grapple, kind of.
Yeah, I'll let you go with that. Why not?
60%.
Yeah. Too bad he got a critical for his strength check that opposes.
Jesus Christ.
So he elbows you hard in the ribs, still kind of like gasping for air, and gets himself free and kind of like, you actually never closed your door. You kind of threw him in and they were kind of following him in at this point. He kind of falls out of the door at this point.
Well, we're driving, so the door probably would have closed itself, right?
It would have closed in motion, yeah.
You're not driving that fast yet. Again, you're kind of you're not at speed. You just kind of got going.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, if I pulled out of the parking lot and turned around, the motion of pulling out of a parking lot, at least turning, would have closed the door shut.
Not even remotely. That's a safety feature they actually have.
This has turned into a very big complication.
Yeah.
Because most people would not do this at gunpoint, but this man has. I don't know what to do other than to kill him at this point.
Shoot him in the leg? Like,
I mean, the problem is like that might kill him too, and that might not even knock him out.
Plus, we're in a rental car right now. Okay, so I locked the cars. Do I still get a roll on like driving kind of thing? Or wait, he fell out of the car already, right?
He's trying to get out, I guess. I'm gonna say like the door didn't close all the way, but yeah, I'll give you that the door's like partially closed. I guess maybe it's like it's not locked. I guess it's closed enough. He has to like push it open or something. But he's kind of scrambling through this. He's kind of putting his weight on it. You get a drive roll if you want. Yeah.
Okay, so I want a drive roll to try to like kind of maneuver the car around where it kind of forces the door closed.
Sure.
All right. 40 out of 20 failure.
Nah, you're just not getting it. There's a bunch of commotion in the back seat of your car. Back to fire starter. You gonna try and grab the phone again?
I'm just gonna try to kick the person.
All right, so give me a luck check first before we do this.
Of course. Failure on the luck check.
You hear kind of from the earpiece, "Hello, this is 911."
Destroy the phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to grab the phone again.
All right.
And then 60%, 97% failure. Are you fucking kidding me? You have a 60% fire starter. Like,
just
what?
Not making contact with this. All right, back to the car. Lawrence, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna go back to like trying to close the door and choking.
All right. So what you doing? You trying to grab him or you trying to choke him? Are you just trying to grab and choke him or you trying to get the door closed?
I'm curious. Lawrence is smart.
Yeah.
Most people probably wouldn't react this way if someone had a gun to them, right?
The fight or flight instinct is a strong instinct.
How close to being out does he look?
He's not out. The door's not open, but he, in theory, could still escape. Especially bad kind of turn from Foxtrot could also add complications to it. You've definitely made a scene, though, at this point, I guess is the way of thinking of it. Like, this is only taken place over the span of like 10, 15 seconds, probably. But it's definitely gone from clean grab to messy at an accelerated rate.
I mean, look, if we get caught, we can sort of explain this. Sort of. It's a cop's words against him, but it's a problem because if they run our credentials, we're fucked. I mean, she's just going to try to hold him so that he cannot open the door.
All right.
Choking him. If possible.
Yep. See that unarmed combat?
17.
Hey, you make sure you grab back on him. You're kind of subduing him again. See if he can break free. He's fighting, yeah, but he's not doing super well against it. Foxtrot, give me a drive roll. You're still trying to get out of here, right?
Yeah, I'm still. So the road we're on right now, is there any like turns I could take that are less crowded?
Once you get out of the parking lot, you'll be on a major street, I guess. Like it's not ideal for how badly these things have gone, I guess. But at the same time, it's once you're out of the parking lot, you'll have more options, and you can definitely you can get some more speed. You also won't be avoiding parked cars and stuff like that.
Okay, then yeah, I want to get out to basically to a main streat or highway, whatever.
That's what you were doing,
possible.
yeah. So give me a drive check. Again, like you keep failing these, so that's been kind of why your progress has been so slow.
92 out of 20 fail again. Like drive 20 is horrible.
You're having again, it's really distracting in the back. Like someone's like kicking your seat, you hear kind of someone choking, like there's a gun occasionally being waved around, you kind of catch on the corner of your eye in one of the mirrors or something like that. It's hell back there. Like, this is when ops go bad in your experience and lots of people start dying or something like that. But yeah, Firestarter, what are you doing?
Do I roll a luck roll?
No, they've already picked up.
Okay. On one hand, there's a part of me that wants to just pull out a gun and just fire into the person. On the other hand, I want to like just roll into another unarmed combat. But for whatever reason,
there's a good chance that if you try to like keep mugging this guy, that when he reports to the police, he might not even mention what happened, that he thought he was calling them. You would just have to dip out and shave and
it's not a bad argument, actually. Yeah, there is some tactical advantage to that. Like you've accidentally made a surprisingly okay smoke screen.
Yeah. People like the commotion that's going on probably looks like we're trying to drive away from the crazy homeless guy who's
actually
that's accurate. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm gonna pull out my handgun and I'm gonna shoot at the dude's leg and I'm gonna start yelling, "Give me your car, give me your keys, give me your car."
Are you shooting or are you trying to persuade him, I guess? You only do one thing a turn.
Okay.
I will happily give you a +20 to a persuasion check because you've pulled a gun on someone. That is a very convincing argument.
So I'm pulling my gun and I am going to start yelling, give me your car. Or give me your keys, give me your car. So +20.
To persuade,
To persuade, 89% failure.
Wow.
This person either doesn't believe you'll shoot them, doesn't. This is all gone off the rails at this point. They're kind of it's just the person's terrified. At the same time, you kind of hear them just kind of under their barely stammer out, "Police, someone's trying to mug me, and I think there was just a kidnapping."
Fucking A. Should have shot him.
Florence, we're back at you in the car. You kind of trying to maintain this hold?
Yeah, she's just trying to choke him out.
Yep. All right, let's see that unarmed combat.
56.
All right, you're starting to nod off some. See if he gets lucky again. Probably not. Nah, so kind of you finally kind of feel him go limp from lack of oxygen. The adrenaline's finally kicked out kind of thing. He just kind of slowly seems to kind of nod off at this point. Yeah, you've successfully knocked him out kind of thing. He's no longer fighting you. Foxtrot, you got me one more drive check.
All right. 95 out of 20 fail.
At least it's not a fumble. I think we crash on a fumble.
Yeah, no, you do.
Oh, okay.
Or you would. That's kind of what I was looking for in some ways. Your driving's not great, but kind of he's unconscious. It's your last kind of haphazard swerve around a parked car, so I've been a desperate attempt to get out of here as fast as possible. And you do eventually make it out on the road. It is not inconspicuous, though. You've definitely got some eyes on this. They're not quite sure what they saw. There's a man with a beard and a gun yelling at a person to hand over their phone. They're on the phone with the police. This car is driven off the scene. Maybe these two are related. Maybe they're not. We may never know. You have a kidnapped victim at this point in tow. Or in the car at this point with you. But yeah, you're on the main street at this point. It was not an inconspicuous getaway, though.
Florence is going to get into her bag, get a sedative out, shoot this man up, sit him up and buckle him, make sure he's not going to wake up.
Sure.
The sedative. And then she's going to pull out one of the burner phones she bought, call 911 and say, "Oh my God, I think there's a mugging going on at this and this park. Me and my husband, we were running away. We didn't stay behind to see, but I think I saw a gun." And then she's going to hang up, take the SIM card out of the phone, break it, toss the phone and the SIM card once we're away.
Sure. So it's now all about Firestarter. You're the only one kind of in active danger right now. You got your gun on this person. They've just described the events. You have failed multiple times to grab this phone from this person. You've failed to convey them to give you your car keys. What are you doing at this point?
I shoot him.
All right, you going for lethal or you're going for non-lethal at this point?
Because my plan is I'm going to shoot him and I'm going to run.
All right.
So
what's your law at?
My law?
Yeah.
0%.
Oh. We could have done something really silly with that, but your character does not know this.
No, I know. I can't feign I'm FBI and then do whatever the heck because
oh no. What's your criminology?
Criminology is at 10%.
Roll that first.
Okay. I get a critical on this, I'm gonna cry. 29% failure.
Nah, you didn't quite have an idea on this one.
Can I suggest something since you've been running around Fiddlestick?
What's up?
Can't tell his side of the story about a kidnapping. He's fucking dead.
That would be the Fiddlesticks way.
No, that's why I was thinking about shooting him because it's one of those things that just dead man can't talk.
Then steal his car and then
that's kind of the plan. So I'm gonna shoot lethal. So that's firearms.
Yeah, I'll give you a +20 because you're a pretty close range even. Yeah, you're at point blank, if you will.
Sick. Awesome. Firearms at 90. 53% success.
Oh, that hits. Let's see that firearms damage.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Cowboy Operations. This is the exact depth. This whole sequence is basically just a Cowboys operation in a nutshell.
9.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This person goes down. They're not dead on impact, but it's a hell of a shot as that bullet hits them. It doesn't quite hit a vital organ, but it takes a big chunk of them. Chances of them surviving this are pretty low. It's a solid kind of through the chest hit. If they're not dead yet, they may die in a couple minutes of a slow, agonizing bleed out or asphyxiation. But yeah, they hit the ground like a ton of bricks.
Cool. I'm going to grab the phone, hang up, and then I'm going to grab their keys.
Give me a search.
Cool. 21% success.
Yeah, you find their wallet, their keys, you find anything a criminal might steal off a person like this.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to grab the phone because I'm just going to huck it while I'm on the road. And then I'm going to jump into the car and drive in the opposite direction that Florence and Foxtrot went to. And I will loop or ditch the car and loop back around or tell them like where my location is for a pickup later down the road.
No, the goal is to kind of break up the team at this point so they can't track you all down. Smart.
Yep. But otherwise, how badly is this person choking? Like, are they like suffering in pain, dying, or like?
There's some blood coming up out of their mouth.
Cool. I'm just gonna grab their phone. I'm gonna double tap the individual so that they're just done.
All right.
Then I'm gonna dip.
Cool. Not cool, but yes. All right. So yeah, give me a drive check.
Drive with 56% success, baby.
Yeah, you peel the hell out of there. You're gone before, like, as you're driving away, though, you hear sirens kind of rapidly approaching. There's been gunshots. There's a phone call to the cops disrupted by, gunshots that have probably had a kidnapping and a mugging as part of it. Florence and Foxtrot are long gone at this point, but Firestarter kind of in your rear window, you see kind of cop cars just kind of like leap up the kind of sidewalk to get into this plaza, and just you see an ambulance kind of rolling down the street as rapidly as it can. Sirens blaring. This is horrific. What's happened here? Yeah, no, but you do manage to get away kind of at this point. You're driving your ass off at this point though too. I'm assuming you're driving it like you stole it. By that I mean under the speed limit to not attract any attention from law authority whatsoever.
Yep, I've also tucked my beard into my shirt.
Sure. No, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so you get away from this, you kind of get some distance. Like, how long do you drive before you torch this thing?
I want to say 2 hours. I'm going to find like a underpass or like somewhere kind of like remote or whatever.
Yeah, remote's probably your better bet. This is Savannah. It's kind of flat. So you get out in the ruralness, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. If I can find like a ditch or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Before this, I'd chuck the phone. So it kind of like would give a specific idea as to like what highway the person was going down.
Yeah.
And then I diverge and take a different highway.
Sure.
But I'm going to find a ditch so I can burn the car. And then I will.
Eventually find like a drainage thing off a field or something like that. Like it's definitely a ditch you could use for this.
And then check my sat phone and text my coordinates.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm going to hike another like hour or two away so that way I can text my coordinates.
So, and as a fireman, you know the correct way to burn a car is from the inside out. None of this dumping gas all over the outside of it. You want that polyester interior to do as much of the work for you as possible. So, as like all the gas, you probably stop to pick up some gas at some point, just kind of dump all of it into the body of this car. Lighter, matches, flare. How do you light this thing up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do flare. Flare would be the best.
You're lucky the owner of this car had some flares in the trunk kind of thing. You set one of those up. It gets there, and by the time people come to investigate the car, it's just kind of the remnants of the metal frame that are made of car is still there. Some of the kind of fiberglass on the outside remains, but the inside's just cooked. Got to the gas tank, got to everything you want, all the electronics melted out kind of thing. It's a masterfully arson car. Nothing accidental about it. Like, no one's going to be confused this car wasn't torched, but makes a certain amount of sense in context. But you feel pretty confident that any clues to your kind of identity you may have left in the car, long gone in the flames. It's a pretty good heat you got going in there. And yeah, you're just kind of headed back towards Savannah at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a hike. I'm not going to like double back on the main road or anything else like that. I'm going to take a little bit of a hike over so that way I can kind of get on the side road, start making my way back.
Yeah, you try and like find a gas station or something you can have the rest of the team pick you up at or something.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, it takes some time. By the time you kind of get this all sorted, it's well into night at this point. We'll say it's probably close to, 10 p.m. once they've kind of driven around enough they feel comfortable to come get you and they track you down and stuff like that, given how far out you got. But yeah, eventually the team's reunited.